You know what we need? We need more cowbell. That's what we need. More cowbell will lead to more gains in the market. I figured it out. I think. Probably not. Anyways, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Stock Advantage. My name is Darren, and today I'm going to break down 7 hot penny stocks from the day. We're going to talk about what happened in the market today related to those stocks, and then kind of what I see going forward. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So first stock we're going to talk about is AUVI. This dude went off today. It's Applied UV. Prior to today, this stock was trading at about $5 a share. It probably hit everybody's radar because at one point today it was up to almost $36 a share. It did cool off back at market close down to, I think, 1971. And then as I'm looking at it right now, it's already cooled back off down to 1735. And so this is an example of a major catalyst that came out and the stock went through the roof. So what happened with it? The biggest thing that happened is it officially closed its acquisition of a company called ARYA, which ARYA is a highly valuable air purification technology. It was actually designed for NASA. And so if you look at it, right, air purification, it eliminates biological contaminants, which is a big focus at this point in life. So Applied UV was already in the healthcare area. They had some function there. But what they've done is they've now bought this company, and this company is already functional. It's got a lot of good potential going forward. And so what you have here is not just simply a catalyst, right? There is some inherent value that comes with that company. Is it worth a $36 valuation? I don't think so. Not at this point. Based on the research I've done, I could see this getting back down to the $10 to $12 mark and being a great opportunity. I think that's probably the true value of this stock at this point. Now, whether it'll cool back off down that far, I'm not sure yet. It is at $17.25 right now, so I'm thinking we'll probably see a little more cooling off tomorrow, potentially. You might have some investors jump in there and pile on, but I think it's going to cool off a little bit more, get back down, and we'll be able to find a bottom at that true valuation of the company. Next up, let's look at SNDL. Yep, Sundial Growers. We getting high today. You ain't got no job. You ain't got nothing to do. Why am I doing movie quotes? I don't know. Anyways, classic movie. Comment that one down below. If you don't know that one, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. But Sundial Growers. So this is in the cannabis sector, which, if you guys didn't know, the cannabis sector has been lit the last few days. No, slight pun intended. I ain't gonna lie. Slight pun intended. So anyways, this dude was up 29% today. And it's actually up in the after hours, up to like $1.71 right now. So very solid run for this stock. And if you look at the last month here, you're talking, what did this do? It's down to 50 cents a share. This one has been the product of a lot of retail investor trading lately. And so it's had a lot of volatility happening. Some big pumps back here, and then it kind of cooled off. And then it's been on a heck of a rally for the last a couple weeks here. And so what happened today? Well, I don't know that so much happened with Sundial Growers as it happened with the entire cannabis market. You did have some good stocks like Tilray, and a few others have some important catalysts. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Canopy Growth gave some good projections for this year and going into next year. And so as a few of these bigger cannabis stocks go up, then it's kind of like it's like a sympathy gain is what happens on some of these other ones, because, hey, if those guys can climb and have good results and good things happening, we're next up. And so Sundial Growers is one that has some potential, but also don't get bought into just buying it, right? Do some due diligence, see what they stand for, look at their financials. At this point, I don't think they're showing a profit, but it all depends on news that comes out, growth opportunities that they have. I think they've done some restructuring in the company, if I'm not mistaken. So there is some potential for this one going forward. It can make for a good swing trade or day trade. Just be cautious when you do that. But it is one of the cannabis stocks I think you are going to see some growth out of, pending good management of the company. All right. Next up, let's look at LABP. Landos Biopharma, right? So if you go back and look at the chart here, it starts looking real funky. And that's because this dude just IPO'd like a week ago. I don't remember the exact day now. But it just IPO'd. They did the offering at $13 a share. Actually, they were wanting $16 a share, I believe. It actually opened at 13, and then it dropped all the way down to 11, finding its bottom. And so this one hit my radar because it was a big loser for the day, even though it was on the date of IPO. And so with a lot of IPOs, once they catch traction, those babies can roll. And so what I did is I looked for the bottom. Of course, I very rarely find the exact bottom, and most people don't. But what I do is I saw the bottom, and then you look for it to start showing higher highs. Okay, and so this one presented a pretty good opportunity. It kind of ran, it dropped, and then it kind of ran flat, popped back up a little bit, and then just the other day it was down to about $11. And then bam, today happened. This dude shot up at highs today. It got up to $15.35 a share. So that was a pretty good pop there. At one point, I think it was up 40% on the day. It did cool back down some, but in the after hours, it popped again. It's up another 5%. So if this one's like a lot of IPOs, I could see this one picking up and running. And just like most of them, it's going to be really volatile until it finds its price, right? Until it settles down. So make sure that if you do invest in this one or trade this one, that you understand it's volatile. Do a little research on that company, do some due diligence, and make sure that it aligns and that it's got a proper valuation. So very interesting one that some people probably made some money on today. So. Next up, let's look at our old buddy OCGN, OCGN. This dude got hyped quick. This dude went through the roof quick. And this dude actually had a pretty good day yesterday. And then it kind of cooled off today. Yep, it did that. Between the highs yesterday and where it closed today, it dropped about, about a 30% drop from highs of almost 19 down to aftermarket. It's at $12.33 a share. I knew the cool down had to come. I mean, you can't grow that fast, and it's not sustainable, right? So I figured the cool down would come. It came a day later than I thought, but it did happen. It had a little spike back up today into what did it get up to? The 14? Yeah, about the mid 14s. And I thought it may break back out. But then I think a lot of people took profits and it continued to sell off throughout the rest of the day and into the aftermarket. So be careful with this one. I think that it could have another sell-off day tomorrow. It'll lose some of the hype interest. It'll start calming down, and then it'll get ready for that FDA approval that we all hope is going to come related to the Baharat partnership for the COVID-19 vaccine. That OCGN is trying to market to the U.S. and get approved in the U.S. So if that approval comes, this baby will shoot right up again. But I anticipate until we get some fresh news on it, it'll continue to drop a little bit and run fairly sideways. So be careful with that one. Next up, let's look at ARYA. Talked about this one yesterday. It's another one that announced a partnership or a merger. And it shot through the roof, got up to $26 a share. And then today, kind of like most of these other ones do, after the hype news, everybody's holding the bag. Some people claim profits, and it dropped back down a solid, probably 25%, maybe even 30% from highs. So it had a rough day. It ran flat most of the day, but it opened low. And so, just keep an eye on this one. The RSI and the MACD are running flat right now. And so I anticipate this one, it'll either continue to run flat, or I think it may have a little bump up tomorrow. Again, kind of anticipated this one to happen. You've got to know that whenever these stocks have big hype, big merger news, acquisition, anything like that, you buy the hype, you sell the news, right? So after all that, after those big pumps, if that's the kind of stocks that you're playing with or you're trading with, you need to make sure that you're willing to get out quick, because it can fall very quickly. Don't get caught holding the bag. lock in profits, cut losses at minimal, right? If you don't trust your own brain, set you a stop loss and say, hey, if it is, it is, right? So don't get bought into that. All right, next up, let's look at CTRM, which is Castor Maritime. This dude, it did okay today. It did okay. A lot of people were thinking it wouldn't bust over $1 per share. There were some big sell orders happening in the mid 90 cents. And so there was a lot of pressure that was kind of holding it there. And you see, it kind of fought. It fought to get above $1. Had a good jump up here, but then it fought. It was kind of going back and forth, running sideways. And then bam, we had that hit. And it did bust above $1, which is a good milestone to hit. And so after it popped up, it cooled back off a little bit. That's to be expected. But then I like the way it was consolidating the rest of the day. And then even after hours, it's up 1%. And so I would continue to watch this one. If you're invested in this one, I would hold it. And then if you're not, I would look and see how it's acting in the pre-market. If it's continuing to run flat, it may have a very good opportunity for entry point. If it starts dipping, then you wait for the dip and see where it's going. So this one they deal in dry bulk containers, and their big pop lately is because they bought some more vessels and they've got some long-term plans going. So keep an eye on that one. That one kind of pleased me today with how it ran. A lot of people thought it would take a big dip, but I was proud that it was able to hold above that $1. Last up, let's look at our old buddy Zomedica. All right, ZOM. This one did a lot of the same. All right, this is what happens, and I don't want to keep harping on that. But yesterday hit 291, and then after close, you could tell it just started to fall, and then it. Let's see. It hung around the 220 to 230 mark most of the day, so it did take about a 15% dip. But again, I was glad to see that it kind of held its own, consolidated here. It's up 3% after hours, so that's a good sign. And so I think this one is going to find its base. I think it's going to find it probably tomorrow, if not Thursday. And so just keep looking at it. If you're already in it, I would suggest hold. I still think this one's going to hit, in the $4 to $6 range, potentially by the release of their product at the end of March. It's going to be volatile. It's going to be bumpy. So if you like to be an active trader, there's probably going to be some opportunities to make some profits. But also, keep an eye on it. Look at it in the morning in the pre-market and see where it's going. And then from there, make your decision. So that's it, guys. That's a quick update on 7 penny stocks. If you have any questions on any of those, put them down below. If there's any other stocks you want me to break down, go more in depth. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you can always know what's coming up. And then, any other video topics you want me to cover, I do have a video coming out talking about 5 growth stocks, right? These are penny stocks, very volatile, very risky, and they should only be a small portion of your portfolio. Don't take my word for any of these that are gonna pop or anything like that. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment purposes only. But again, do your own due diligence. With that, I'll call it a day. Again, until next time, have a great day and God bless.